All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still the press coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. And now we've been joined by a guest, and he's the DG of CONYASS. His name is Ade-Mario Emmanuel. Together, we shall be taking a look at the headlines we read out to you earlier. And this is also a reminder that our phone lines are open for you to call and join the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. D.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's begin with some of the events that happened yesterday, and we are seeing most of it, and the news from that particular event scattered all across our national daily. It's in regards to the protest that happened in Abuja yesterday, where some Nigerians were demanding congratulatory messages to the president-elect from the opposition parties. What are your thoughts on this particular event?
In every election, there must be a winner. And in every contest, somebody must lose. But yet, if you feel you are not satisfied, the Lord still gave room for an address. For some of them who has not congratulated the president-elect, as INEC has pronounced, might be on the ground that they are not satisfied, waiting for the judiciary to play their role. After then, they might now feel that we've exhausted legal means to look at the loopholes that we're not satisfied with. Then, as at that point, they will have every reason to congratulate the president-elect. So, and for those that are leading the protest, you see, like I've always said, protest is not the only channel we can address solutions to problems. So, and until we begin to look at it from that angle, instead of leading protests, why not a kind of have a one-on-one with the INEC and also seek an audience with these persons in questions who are yet to congratulate the president-elect to a kind of place, can you give us your reasons why you've not congratulated the president-elect?
But of to what importance is that congratulatory message? Does it add anything to?
No, it adds.
Okay.
It's to prove that one, that the election is free and fair. It's to prove that we are satisfied with the outcome of all that took place during the electionary period.
Okay.
So that goes a very long way to a kind of put the president-elect on the track field that yes, you are sincerely elected by Nigerians.
All right, but what we've noticed over the years, except for 2015 when former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan actually did, congratulate President Muhammadu Buhari. What we've noticed over the years is that most times there are always issues after elections. But this year, it seems quite different because there have been lots of groups protesting here and there, not just the presidential election, even the gubernatorial election. You find protests here, protests there. Is there something about this year's election that has made it come to be?
Yeah, this year election, with the role we played in the field, is one of the most successful elections so far, security-wise. You see, before now, you see police officers, joining touts to snatch ballot balls, joining politicians to cause serious setback. But this year election was a total different. The police were very friendly in their polling units. Just few who messed up along the line. But I must tell you that the police role in this year election can be rated 95% pass.
Really?
From our own angle.
Okay.
And by the statistic we have.
Okay.
And we flow well with the Police Service Commission, who were deployed in the 6th geopolitical zone. We work hand in hand with them.
Okay.
We monitor the elections. All our members were in the field, were in their polling units. So, but that does not still say that there were no abnormalities. Now, the first area is that the INEC, from the Beavers machine ideology that came on board and the message that we passed to the citizens. The BVAS machine can capture you once, and it cannot capture you after then. But I will tell you that for those that registered in different polling units, had the opportunity to cast their vote without the BVAS rejecting them.
Okay.
So it means if I registered in polling unit A, registered in polling unit B, and you register in polling unit C, I have opportunity to vote.
But is that even
In
possible?
all 3 polling units?
It happens.
In all 3 polling units?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and I have passed this message across to INEC, and I'm expecting them to call. So I will give them analysis, I will give them places. All this happened.
But it's not. Sorry to cut you short, Midi. I think it was impossible for you to have double registrations during the registration.
A lot of people did.
But what about the places where overvoting was detected?
Now, the issue of overvoting, if you now check the BVAS at the level of polling unit, if there is overvoting, the BVAS will prove it. That it is only the captured names and pictures on the BVAS that should originally be accepted. So where there are excess voting, you understand me now, there is no way it will tally with what is in the BVAS.
So where are we putting this blame? Human error or technology error?
The INEC did not do their work well at the level of that BVAS. The BVAS, if you vote in polling unit 001, you should not be able to vote in any other polling unit, irrespective of the numbers of PVC that you have.
But I still beg to differ, because obviously we know that when you cast your vote, you are marked. So how do you go about going to other polling units to vote with the...
I am telling you what happens and what I saw as a person in the field. In fact, there are persons that voted in about 6 places who has 6 PVCs. Now, the point is this, that INEC, at the course of registration, has data and details of polling unit A. So, there is nothing that has to do with polling unit A that has to do with polling unit B. So, information about polling unit A is only in polling unit A. Information about polling unit B is on polling unit B alone. So unless if INEC now sit down on their own and now begin to check the names and pictures in polling unit A to compare with polling unit B, that is when they will now detect these double registrations. So until they do that, then they will not be able to get these facts. And these are some of the grounds why some of the contestants are going to court. So even as it happens from contestant A, who used the same advantage, contestant B also used such advantage in his own region too. Are you with me?
Very well.
Now, the fact is this, that as good as this election is, some of the INEC officials were somehow bought over, and they could not resist, like the INEC commissioner of Abia, and like the brave woman in one of the local government in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. So not all of them were brave enough. And if you see some of the INEC commissioners who were coming to give reports at the cost of submitting their report, you see some of them are not sound. Some of them you have to send them back. The INEC chairman have to send them back to go and tally up their work well. And these are professors.
Okay, but
so there were a lot of lacunas. Are you with me now?
Very well.
But yet, irrespective of these lacunas, to be candid with you, this election is one of the best elections Nigeria has ever recorded.
Okay.
Did you just, because I feel like a lot of Nigerians would probably beg to differ that it's not the way you
it was not violent as it used to be. That is number one.
They said violence was underreported.
No. I also beg to differ on this. You see, yes, there were change of polling units in the governorship election, and there were threats in places like Lagos, Ade-Mario, Kaduna, and others. Now, but yet, it was not the way it used to be in previous years. If it were in the previous years, at least nothing less than 20 persons would have died in Lagos election. And that is a sincere truth. So, if others beg to differ, but we should be able to be sincere to the level of violence that would have escalated at the course of this last either governorship election and the national election that took place. But yet we must know this, that INEC tried her best, but yet her workforce, her representatives, some of them actually messed up. Some of them actually messed up. But yet, whether we are taking it or not, this election, irrespective of those little abnormalities that were not up to what it used to be before now, this election happens to be one of the peaceful elections.
All right, like you made mention earlier, you said in your observation, and I will take that as in your observation as CONYASS as a body, you observed all of the things that you made mention of. So what was your reaction, or what did you do? What was the counter action of the body to all of these allegations?
Now, some of the reports that were coming to me, all we just have to do, because we don't have that government power to operate officially at the course of election observing, we gave our members directive in all their polling units and wards and their communities that 1, you must support the INEC officials for them not to be fought. 2, you must support the security agencies to carry out their duties and work as stipulated by the law. All we need is, we want all communities to be peaceful. Now, from reports, for some of our members who were calling to say this is their observation, some of these people called them and talked to them. And some of them come to that understanding and that knowledge because it is an intellectual conversation. It was not, hey, no, stop that, and in a violent way. But because it was coming from a dynamic ideology that, no, but do you know that this thing you're about to do has legal implication if it is taken up against you? And the feedback was that most of them were actually concurring. And for the security agencies, it was a wonderful report. All of them were really cooperating with our members. After identifying themselves with the ID card and all that, they worked together, and some of them even help in making sure that people are in the line properly, allowing the elderly ones to come and vote before the younger ones come. So most of the areas our member work, especially our state coordinator and our regional coordinators, it was a wonderful report we got. But that does not say in some areas that they were not violent. And that does not say that in some areas that some person did not resist some of these directives and instructions based on personal interest and their candidate that they are following. Are you with me now? But the fact remains that it is more better than what we used to see before now.
All right. With the support that you just expressed that your body had to give during the election, would you say that INEC themselves as a body, they are overworked? Because they have to monitor a lot of things, even monitor vote buying, ensure that everything is okay, besides all the security forces that are also supporting them. But do you think INEC as a body is actually overburdened?
Yeah, the truth remains that INEC on her own, at a point in time, focus more on the mandate of making sure that there is a free and fair election. And the security agencies are to make sure that the electorates are protected and the electoral materials are protected. And this were done successfully. I will use an example in Ogbagi, Akoko, when the ward, the polling units and all the polling units were gathered together, and I think they wanted signing that, let us sign from here. And the security agencies were trying to say no. I was called and I spoke with the security agencies there that allow the agents to sign so that the figure will not be changed when they leave this place. And they listened to me and they followed that directive. And it was a wonderful one. So as many calls we received. So, but the truth is that INEC on our own, we need more to do for the nearest futuristic elections to be able to really gather more of intelligent report of the loopholes of this present election and use it to cover up for futuristic elections that are upcoming. Now, if you look at what happened in Abia, if it was not fully on social media that Labour Party have to stood their ground, get the result themselves from all polling units, it could have been a different story. It could have been, but the woman stood her ground and said, no, this is what I got from my agents. This is what I got from those that represented me in all the polling units. And that gave birth to what we see in Abia. So INEC have to, a kind of one, also look for sincere persons who can stand the test of time, even in the face of threats. So, and to be able to do this is for them to also look at those that are doing well in different parastatals, right from their local government and the level of their activities so far, and see how far they will be able to go if they are brought in to work with the INEC. So all this area is where INEC should look at. But that Beavers machine, they should go back and do more work on the Beavers machine.
We have a call, and after that, I have a very important question to ask. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on the press.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. This is Akim from Lagos.
Good morning, Mr. Akin.
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to our analyst there. I really enjoyed his analysis. First comment I want to make is that you need to understand that people that are calling for perfection, there is nothing called perfection on this earth. So, and the other day there was a caller that called asking question whether INEC is a project or not. INEC will never be a project. Reason being, INEC can only be regarded as a process. So as a process, if you reflect back to the history, when elections started in this country, we all know how it started. And even some of the election where some politicians would take ballot paper and everything to their house, some printing and all these things. And rest, yes, we call it a free and fair election. Taking from that moment to this very moment, INEC has really improved. Nigeria has improved tremendously in whatever way. No matter how this election went, this is the best election so far. Notwithstanding, there are other certain issues that probably happen. And also, when we are talking about transmission of results, but I wonder why people are generalizing everything, saying that Beavers didn't work. What is actually Beavers? Beavers is not transmission in itself, because Beavers did its job. It actually tells us the real voters. All this while, we always be seeing millions coming from Kano, from Lagos, from all these things, but this time around, the Beavers is able to tell us the real voters, people that actually came. So nobody should come. And besides again, politicians will always be politicians anywhere in the world. Please let me learn. You understand? Because the system is good, but politicians will do whatever it needs to make it not to work for their own favor. And no party is exempted here. All of them, they are all involved. The so-called labor that people are shouting about, if you are in the field, you see what is happening. Even the APC, the PDP, we all see everything that is happening. That is that on that side. So it's a process. As long as we continue, we are going to really achieve what we want to achieve. Then coming back to the security, the police, they really surprised me this time around. In fact, even in Lagos, you know, this information of the thing of saying tribal, whatever, let me tell you the truth, it's only within some restricted area. In Ade-Mario, where I am, entirely those people that went to vote during the presidential election were the same people also that went out to vote. The only difference is just about 10, in my polling unit, only 10 people didn't come out. I'm going to say, so you understand? So, by and large, what I just want to bring out here is that whatever we call the name of the child we give birth to, that is how that child will look like. If you continue to say Nigeria is not going to work, I'm so sorry, that is how it should be. But the truth is that no matter what people are saying, INEC has done so tremendously well. You understand? Compared to when Atari Jeda came, there was improvement. This one is a better improvement. So, but politicians, when they lose, they are bad losers. They always bring excuses. So that is just it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
KAFTAN.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, beautiful morning to you, Sandra, and then beautiful morning to you, Alhassan,
Good morning to you.
Ade-Mario. Beautiful morning to you.
Good morning to you too.
Thank you very much. Director Mario, let me appreciate you once, and then let me appreciate KAFTAN TV for giving us this ample opportunity to say what is in our mind regarding our nation. Like I always mention, building a nation is a collective responsibility, and this is the part of what we're going to do. Thank you very much. Let me throw one or two questions to Director Mario. Director Mario, it's more like your organization is one of the domestic observers or the foreign, I don't know. But from all indications, if you are accredited to observe in the election, that is if I'm right. If really I'm right, I don't think you need INEC to ask this question. You have to make some recommendations and observations, because that is why you are accredited to go and monitor the election and do the needful. That is according to my own understanding. Because in every election, there must be recommendation and observation, especially through the accredited organizations, be it domestic or foreign. Even if you want to make it as a merger with other different organizations that have been accredited, you have to do that. And then I really appreciate, because what you must mention is security, especially the police force. Even though it's a joint security, they have done pretty well. I mean, pretty well. If you look at what is happening in the previous election, believe me, you have to give credit to the security agency. Not only the police force, the entire security agency. We have to give them credit. There's a lack of the manpower, but believe me, there is no any much compromise in the aspect of it. And then the second issue I want to raise, from my own observation, what happened in this our election, believe me, 88.8% are manufactured error. Because it shows that no matter how the INEC did well to make the system look pretty well, that means man is ready, man is there ready to make something, to make way out to manipulate the election. Otherwise, the river is there. The INEC have done all their possible best to make some changes, to make some amendments on the river, on the area, and so on and so on and so forth. Unlike what happened in the presidential election. So if there is too much vote in a unit, that means it's a manufactured error. If there is fight in a polling unit, it's a man error. So where is the stakeholder? That means we need to transform our political stakeholders, the political actors. There is a need for more awareness on the voters' angle. That is why I always ask questions. Where is the voters education unit? What are they doing? They were paying salary for good 4 years, for good 30 days, for good 1 day. Not until election. What are they doing? Why are they waiting until election period before they begin to educate Nigerians? They are killing them with our taxpayers' money. But their work should be continuously. Thank you very much. I remain attending from Kano.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. This is Hamid, calling from Kaduna.
Thank you, Hamid, for joining us on the program.
Good morning to your guests.
Good morning to you, sir.
On the issue that is boiling in the public space, the election, the last completed election, vis-a-vis the performance of beavers. You see, some of us tend to be economical with the truth. it is rather unfortunate that we are saying this is the worst election we ever had. To me, Beavers is a game changer. Look at an election where the city governor, about 20 states, lost presidential poll. Election where the city governors lost their bid, about 6, lost their bid to become a senator. This is alien, it's unheard of before. Canada brought it better compared to where we're coming from. The 4th, 5th, and the 6th assembly. Then Beavers is a giant stride, if you ask me. It has done a lot. We should pray for our country. I don't know why most of us tend to be bad loser. If even in the court, if you lose, the usury is the worst. But if the judgment is in your favor, you come out and start praising the judiciary. In the context, it's head or tail.
All right.
It's either you lose or you win.
All right.
So please, let's not eat all the politics. We should go back to the losers go back to the drawing board and see going forward how they can emerge victorious come 2027.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to hear my view. God bless you all.
I'm blessed.
Thank you.
Thank
Bless you
you.
too. Ooh.
Hello, good morning.
Okay.
I think we lost that call. But then let's not forget that our guest asked 2 questions. He said, aside your observation, I don't know if I'm getting this correctly.
Yeah.
Aside your, what are your recommendations?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
let's begin with that.
Firstly, just like I've said, officially we are not among the election observers.
Yeah.
We only give directive based on our functions. That in all the polling units and wards, our people must be at alert to work with the INEC officials and work with the security agencies in their community. One, they are not permitted to go out of their polling unit to another person's polling unit. So, because you are restricted to your polling unit and your environment. After casting your vote, you go back to your house. But because of this mandate, some of them will have to remain within that polling unit to be able to make sure that any issue that could escalate to crisis, they are from that community. They know themselves, so they know who to talk to. So, and this has really solved a lot of problems. So, but as election observers, some of them come from different places, so they don't understand the community. They don't understand the terrain. They don't understand the language. They don't understand slangs. You understand that can easily quench down tensions.
Okay.
So, and some of all this, we are putting up all our report together. Our state coordinators, everybody is putting up their papers. Immediately we are done, we officially forward to the INEC. Be it as it may, we must also know, like the person who spoke from Kaduna, that the Beavers has done, and that is the truth, just like I said from the beginning, except the one singular area they should look at, that in as much you cast vote once, you should not be able to cast vote anywhere again. So that is the only lapses in the Beavers machine. Outside that, to be candid with you, the Beavers machine did this work perfectly.
All right. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
Beautiful. My name is Chief Areo from Kaduna.
Good morning.
welcome,
Thank you
Chief
so much for
Areo.
joining us on the program.
Thank you. You're talking about the Beavers. You see, there's a saying that the end justifies the means. You people have been talking about Beavers. You are not talking about the human aspect of it. The Beavers cannot work without the human aspect. You see, in my own view, the INEC chairman kept on promising Nigeria, promising us, with particular reference to the presidential election. He went to Capital House, he said the same thing. And what did we see about the transmission of results? In my own view, if he had known that it's going to be, he would have started from local government before going to the presidential, whatever it is. And that is exactly what is causing the problem now. He said he was going to transmit into the INEC portal. I went to the INEC portal after the election. There was nothing. So how do we now trust it? How do we not trust INEC? Let us be sincere.
We are not saying that the beaver is not working. The human aspect about the beavers, that is what is causing the problem, not the beaver, the human aspect of it. And the promise that the INEC chairman makes, with particular reference to the transmission. Today, can we not beat our chest and tell and look at our eyeball to eyeball and say that the INEC chairman did the right thing?
All right, thank you
Today,
so much.
the foreign observers are not even pleased with that type of transmission. And let us tell the truth. Then let me quickly go to Nwanyawu and saying that the Yorubas are not rascal. He has denied it. That is very good. You see, we have a country. Today, I was watching the deputy governor of Lagos State. I was very, very happy about the explanation he made. And with particular reference with the way some of the Igbos were treated in Lagos, he did apologize. You see, we should be talking about citizenship. Nigeria is mature. We should be talking about citizenship. This question of ethnicity, if we don't kill ethnicity as clear, ethnicity will kill us. Now, today in Ghana, the former president of Ghana, Liman come from the minority area in Ghana, and he was a president. Why is it that Oluoma and co? Look at the statement of Oluoma and co. Look at the statement of Bayo Onanuga. It is very, very discouraging.
All right,
he was bringing out some poisonous propaganda, which is not good for this country.
Let
us unite in this country so that we call ourselves Nigerians instead of calling ourselves the ethnic name. God bless our country, Nigeria.
God bless you
too.
too.
Thank you.
I think just like what he said we've been talking about beavers, we're not talking about the human factor. You know, I asked that question earlier. I said, who's to be blamed, the human or the technology? But I don't think we need to still go further.
But I have a question to ask before we move away from this topic. Still on the congratulations. Now, don't you think all of this is because of the body language of the people? Because you made mention earlier about what happened in Abia State. You saw what happened after the declaration of the winner.
Yep.
There was jubilation in Abia State, but we didn't get to see that in the whole of Nigeria when the president-elect was declared. So my question is going to be, do you think this is because of all of the events that followed before the announcing of the winner of the presidential elections? Do you think the time the INEC chairman announced that result was the due time? Because for me, I think there should have been a time of reconciliation before that, but there wasn't. It just went ahead but then you now see the body language of the people. And okay, let me mention that the SDP presidential candidate actually sent a congratulations message to the president-elect. Did you see what followed that on social media? A lot of people came, they were attacking him for going ahead to congratulate the president-elect. So what, like all of this, don't you think, aside the candidates who contested for the elections, also the body language of the people?
Yeah. You see, the truth remains that looking at the figure of the election and the people that voted for ABC, so to them they will feel, no, with what we did, we had the highest figure. So if the principal is now going ahead to congratulate, one is that you have killed the morale of your supporters who actually took that risk to say, we must get it right this time around. But the fact also remains that every contestant has an agenda to come and execute in government. Every contestant has something within himself that he felt I can offer his country. So, but be it as it may, there is a process. And if you look at, even after Jonathan congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari, it took time before Atiku did. Atiku did not do immediately. But then you must understand that there was a serious tension that could have put the country into total disarray if President Jonathan did not make that call. That call made this country to be where it is today. We must not shy away from that truth.
Absolutely.
So, but with the role INEC played in this election, that at least the Beavers was able to give us what we want, 98%. Like the man from Kaduna said, the human factors. And that is where I said some of the INEC officials actually give room and pave way for some of the crises we are having to this point. But we must know that this country is our country. We don't have any other country to be called ours except this. For those using abusive words, a kind of trying to instigate crisis across regional and ethnic groups and religious groups, we must begin to look at it that if we cause crisis today, where will our parents run to?
Right.
Where will our uncles run to?
Where would we run to? You're talking about parents, like, are we not going to? What's wrong with them?
No, the truth is this: you can run, but can your parents run?
Absolutely, I can't agree more. Now let's also take this headline that has hit most of our newspapers today. It says, "IU must go. G5 governors Atiku campaign clash." That's on the Punch newspaper. And I think on the Nigerian Tribune it says, "Court stops IU as PDP chairman." Now this is looking like some sort of medicine after death. Wouldn't you agree?
No, the truth is that that is politics for you. Some persons are not satisfied, some persons are satisfied. The G5 governors has achieved what they want. They don't want Atiku close to the villa, and they have achieved that. Now, and the same G5 doesn't want IU to remain. Atiku will do everything possible to make sure that he will enchant them and make sure that they did not succeed, because IU stood for Atiku to the last point.
Yeah.
Are you with me? So then whatsoever that is happening, you see those group of persons that suspended IU from his ward. You understand? These people have cashed out big time.
What do you mean
yes,
when you say they've cashed out?
No, they have cashed out big time. No, for them to have that infantry and that boldness, something has gingered their morale.
But they said
it's
because he couldn't even make his word, he couldn't make his...
No, the truth remains, for him not to have been able to make some certain politicians, a kind of, those people have been taken care of properly. We are in Nigeria. Just like the man said, our politicians will do everything possible to make white look like black. That is where we are. And that is why we are not getting it right as a country. So until our politicians start being sincere, and start doing things right, then we begin to get it right as a country. If not for that, I will, after election, you are now saying you are suspending PDP national chairman. There is any other rule you have to play again until another 4 years. That is the truth. Until another 4 years. So, but the point remains that are you as a person, if he was wise enough before the presidential election, he should have bowed out. He should have seen the handwriting on the wall that these people will definitely fight back to disgrace him. And they are already heading to that part. Any moment from now, before you know, they will begin to instigate issue of the money for form that they paid for the presidential election that should come on account. Before you know, EFCC will invite him. You understand? So these people have where they are heading to. So, but as the situation may be as of today, you should manage the situation properly.
How
especially
do you
now.
He can manage the situation?
Yes, how you can manage.
For me, I think at this point he should have stepped down, resigned before it got to this point that we are.
No, even at this point, he can still organize another wedding feast. That is the truth.
Okay.
He can still do something. We are human. If I can't talk to you, I know who is close to you that can talk to you. If I don't know who is close to you, I know who is close that is close to the person that is close to you.
But I don't know if this is reconcilable, because if you look at it, the reason why the G5 splitted from the party in the first place was because IU did not step down as national chairman. So, and at the end of the day, the G5 worked against their party.
Yeah.
and you already know what the result is for
Yes,
now.
yep.
So do you think that there's any wedding that can be organized that can redeem any of this?
It is possible. These people are politicians. Once upon a time, Kayama was not with Tinubu. You understand?
Yeah.
These people are politicians. Once upon a time, Dino Melaye was in APC, speaking against PDP. These people, let me tell us, and let me tell Nigerians, that in 2-3 calendar months' time, you will see the same set of people on the same table. It is we, the citizens, that are fighting ourselves. If these people want to meet themselves in London tomorrow, they know what to do. It is we that are just stressing ourselves over their headache. They know what they are fighting for. They know what all of them want to protect.
I see.
They want to all of them are trying to protect what they have stolen. And if you are not in power, there is no way you can protect this thing judiciously. And that is the truth. When Abacha was alive, does anybody got secret of what he stole? Nobody. And nobody could ask question. It was after he's dead. Some of all these big men, I want to tell you, in the next 10-15 years, what they have stolen out of this country, some persons are doing research of properties they are having outside this country that will sell them off and bring the money to this country to develop Nigeria.
All right, now let's take a look at one of the stories that we saw on social media yesterday, and it's of at least 500 repentant Boko Haram terrorists graduate from rehabilitation camp, and they have apologized to Nigerians for killings over the years. And in that actual pictures and videos, you can see that they were actually also empowered. How do you react to this? What's your thought on this move?
It is a good one. It is a good one from a good direction. But this, we must also understand that you don't kind of make this in the northern parts alone. The IPOPs too, they are there. Some of them have been in the prison for the past 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. And their cases are just there. Does it mean that they cannot be rehabilitated too? You see, some of all this, it is a good one. It is a good one that these guys have been rehabilitated because they were lured into it and they were manipulated to carry out some of these things. But one fact remains. What is Boko Haram? What are they fighting for? Which territory? What is particularly in that territory that they are fighting for? So we should begin to ask questions of this particular area where they are operating. What is so special about that place? Who are actually within fighting power within that place? What are they fighting for? There are, you see, there are issues beyond just rehabilitating and empowering them. But the fact remains that we should begin to look at source, because up to today, Boko Haram are still killing soldiers. They are still killing police. They are still operating in the north.
And what about the citizens they are coming back to join? How would they welcome them?
The truth is this. If they are sincerely rehabilitated, they will become good citizens. It has been our agitation that it is not about arresting a criminal and sending him to prison. It is about putting his mindset right. A kind of trying to manipulate and maneuver that negative strength and knowledge and skill, diverting it for positive use, positive purpose. You see, if our government begin to do that with point of sincerity, quote it, with point and view of sincerity, then we'll be getting it right. But when it is not from the sincere part of it, now there are still a lot of persons in IDP camps in some part of this country. What is our government doing about them? There are still a lot of young children roaming around the street in the north. What is the government? Will the government still be waiting for them to graduate to the stage of being a Boko Haram before government do something about them? So these people have been rehabilitated. It is a good one. I celebrated it. And I said, wow, it is a good one, because they were properly vented and other things. But yet, is it with a sincere opinion? Is it with a sincere thought? Then sending them out where there's going to be a power shift where there's going to be a power shift from the north to the south. Now, is there a ministry and a department that will be monitoring their activities, evaluating them? Immediately they are sent out there. Is there a place that will be reporting to every month, whereby they will be seen and it kind of be examined? Yes, evaluation, that is a correct English. Now, so all this matters, and in all this, finances will be made available. But should I shock you? Some persons will sit on this money, and these guys will end up going back to the street again.
Wow.
Thank you.
We hope that doesn't happen actually.
Amen. That is a good prayer.
Thank you so much for coming on the program. It's always amazing to have you, and we enjoyed every bit of this conversation. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
All right,
so much.
and with that, we draw the curtain today on the press, coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. Till we'll come your way tomorrow, I am Sandra Ago.